to you.
Hello again, and hi Heidi, it's great to see you again. um, Thank you for having us and our work. And Marcos Túlios challenged me to study Metaverse, so we are here now presenting the first Brazilian church in the Metaverse. So it's a great experience that we have. We participate in two moments in this church, and we will talk about this experience and what we learn in observing this, and how we are studying and acting in Catholic Church, and we are part in a group that helps the Catholic Church in Brazil to develop and improve the communication. We look at this experience of the other church and trying to think how we could try something in Catholic Church. So just for you understand our approach of the subject, but we learn a lot in this experience. So, but first we will start talking about the metaverse. What is this? Metaverse is the combination of the prefix meta, which implies to transcend and universe, and can represent the blend of augmented reality, social media, gaming culture, and digital environment, combining several technologies as augmented reality, lifelong mirror worlds, and virtual reality. It is characterized by three experiences: immersion, interaction, and collaboration. And according to Ning, the metaverse provides an immersive experience based on reality technology, creates a mirror image of the real world, and tightly integrates the virtual world and the real world into the economic system, the social system, and the identity system, allowing each user to produce content and edit the world. In the face of what is present as a possibility, it cannot be disregarded that the metaverse is still a constant evolution, enriched even by the experience of the users themselves. This development involves open questions such as interaction issues, computer power pressures, ethical constraints, privacy risks, and dependency risks in the different worlds. And the fact that the development of the metaverse is still limited by the current technology. So many things to improve and to develop it yet. And as I talked about in the opening panel, the faith practices have been present since the beginning of the internet, and have many studies like the Hyde Campbell mainly about this presence of the religion in digital. So to think about this religious and ecclesial presence in the metaverse, we shows our case study, Lago Verso. So it's the first Brazilian Christian church in the metaverse, and the objectives of this case study were to identify how churches modify the digital space and the culture in the metaverse, and to evaluate the possibility of the experience of a Christian church in this new ambience of faith practice. To collect the research data, we observed and participate in 2 worship services at Lago Verso. Our categories of analysis were forms of interaction, environment, content, theological, pastoral characteristics. So Lagoverso is a project developed by the company Lago Play in partnership with Lagoinha Orlando Church, having its first service celebrated in this environment on April 13, 2022. The Baptist Church of Lagoinha was founded in Belo Horizonte on December 20th, 1957 by Pastor José Rego do Nascimento. Today, there are more than 600 churches in different places in Brazil and around the world, with the vision of reaching the people for Christ. With Lagoverso, Lagoinha Orlando Church will hold online services with all the structure of a conventional church, but in a different, fun, and attractive format for children, youth, and adults who wants to have a spiritual experience a little different from the conventional. To access Lagoverso, participants must use the Outspace VR system, which is a platform that blends a video game experience and events in a fun and immersive way using an avatar, according to the site's description. Navigation can be done through a computer using a keyboard and mouse or a virtual reality Google. It is not yet possible to access Outspace via smartphone, for example. So our experience in the Metaverse took place with the observation of two services. The first was held on April 24th, and the second, May 1st. Since the first service, the services have been held regularly on Wednesdays and Sundays. In the two services observed, there were approximately 40 people. About the religious experience lived in this environment, it was observed that it is not a service held directly in the Metaverse. People gather there to follow the transmission of a service in real time that takes place at Lagoinha Orlando Church. The transmission is done through a big screen, which occupies the center of the Lagoverso's main hall. During the service, those leading the praise and preaching do not develop any kind of interaction with the participants, who respond to the same messages as those participating in person through emojis, text messages, or body movement. In the two services observed, there were two people in the church where the service took place who tried to interact with the people in Lagoverso, as if they were two TV show hosts addressing their audience. The biggest interactions among the participants themselves happened after the end of the service, where they took advantage of the spaces in the church entrance hall, and where there is a panel for photos, to take pictures, selfies with our avatar, as well as the coffee break, to ask technical questions, relate their experiences, and make comments. At this moment, the support team that prepares and accompanies all the transmission answers questions and motivates those present to come in the next event. One difference noticed between the first and the second service was the greater effort for interaction, personalization, and proximity. When entering the hall, there was a person that at the door welcoming the participant by saying his or her name. For example, welcome Aline, nice to meet you here again. Another change was the intensification of the financial approach with more direct appeals for the donate money. That some picture that we show that appear in the screen, do your offer. Yeah, that's that. So they just started this experience, and they are service by service improving this experience. And what we see more interesting was after the worship service, this conversation, and have other people like us from different churches that was intriguing, was interested in this, what they are doing there, and have this really great conversation. And this Lago Play, Lago Play is an enterprise. This enterprise offer to other churches this kind of service, build a church in the metaverse, for example. So it was some points very interesting in our observation. And now thinking about ecclesiology or the theology in this, the network communication develops new ecclesiological perceptions proper to human and faith experience in the digital space. So thinking from the point of view of Catholic Church, Francis proposed today in these times a synodal church with doors open to all and people of God with the same baptismal dignity. To try to describe these changes in the behavior of the assembly of the faithful, the Lighthouse Church and the Torch Church appear as ecclesial analogies in Pope Francis' Amoris Laetitia document, and in Protestant Theology and White Friesen's book, and also in speeches by Antonio Spadaro, have these two analogies for the church. So the Torch Church symbolizes a church on the outreach, dynamic, near, that puts itself at the service, that does not wait sitting in the parish pews, but goes out to meet those who needs it most. Perhaps this image of the church as a torch that accompanies people can shed light on the reason and the way churches are present in Metaverse, as a companion on the roads of life. So why be in Metaverse? Why this is important? The observation of this true celebratory experiences in the Metaverse also point out that there is an arduous path and of theological pastoral reflection, as well as communicational, so that it can be fully used. The first barrier to be overcome is that the economic viability. The Metaverse is currently, for financial reasons, a reality accessible to a reduced percentage of people. However, one cannot ignore that there are people there who, even in the midst of recreational and fun moments, seeks answers to their existential and religious longing. Walking together in the metaverse corresponds to the church's challenge to meet people where they are and how they are. What attracts people to the metaverse is not the technology per se, but the possibility of interaction and relationship through it. And in one article, Alex Tang points out that in the real world's church, many people fell through the cracks. The physically disabled, the bedbound, the hospitalized, the prisoners, the behaviorally challenged, those without transport, the very old and families with very young children. The church in the metaverse may truly democratize hospitality and inclusiveness. There is a multi-directional relationship between technology and society. On one hand, the purpose and the way we use the technology modifies the dynamic and of the spaces of social relation. On the other hand, the technologies that we incorporate into our daily lives, giving them new meanings and uses, are also no longer the same. They are transformed by the way we deal with them. In this sense, the Christian presence in the network can contribute to the development of more human, welcoming, hospitable, and inclusive environment. We hope that. So that was our presentation. Thank you very much for see us and hear us.
Thank you so much. Very interesting, and it's great to give an overview of the metaverse.